If you can get someone to think, make someone laugh, make someone's day, job's done. Pretty happy about being inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's good, but I mean, we don't work, so it's a fun thing. I don't see it as work. I see it as being part of a club, a nice club. Happy to be there. Well, when I started out, my first slot was driving out to what was then Bop Botswana. The station I was on had a studio there, and we had to broadcast from there. So it was about a 2-hour drive out to Bop, a 6-hour show, Sunday midnight into Monday 6 o'clock, and then a drive back. What kept me going? I was just really amped to be doing what I was doing. I was enjoying it, and I was young, so I had the energy. I was trying to get by. I didn't really have too much. There were no kids, there were no wives, none of that. It was just me and a dream, just a dream to do what I was doing. So it just kept me going. Not too much thought was going into it, just a lot of ambition. Radio will always be at my core. It's what got me going into the business. In fact, it was my conduit into everything that I do. And it's fun. I love the conversation of radio. I love the conversation of radio because we always, we just having a conversation with one or two people. That's really what it is. It's nothing more and nothing less than that. And I like having conversations, as most people will tell you. My family will tell you that. I talk a lot. I make stupid jokes, and I enjoy getting into this and having a chat. It's really as simple as that. The thing is, it isn't one of those jobs you slave to get into. You either have it or you don't. And the funny thing is, it's not something I really thought about getting into. It was something fun that I wanted to do. I did kind of that sort of thing when I was a kid. I did a bit of amateur radio. Never really thought that this would be I've never really thought of it as a job. That's the weird thing. I never really thought of radio as a job. It is a job, but I've thought of it as a fun thing. My advice would be, why do you want to do it? Think about why you want to do it. And that's really all I want to say. It's not something, I've never really thought too much about why I got into it. I just did it. It happened. That was it. It's important to be recognized. It's great, but I think you should look to yourself. And I feel flattered, but at the same time, there are a lot of great people in this industry. You got to stay humble. We're all just having a good time, having a conversation. Awards are fun, but I'm going to quote Rusty here. It's not something I have control over. It happens, it doesn't happen. So you focus on what you can do. And that is just enjoying what you do, finding better ways to do it, having the conversation, and making friends. I love the friendship of the business. In fact, that would be the thing that I enjoy the most, is the camaraderie, the friendship, and the fun aspect of it. If it's not fun, don't do it. If it's fun, carry it. Okay, Hot 1027 is, I think it's the longest I've ever been on a radio station. I've jetted around the world. I've worked on radio stations around the world, here, US, UK, and obviously it's the most recent thing I've done. It's a good team, it's a great team. Where does it sit? It's all part of the journey, really. It's probably the best team I've ever worked with. It's the most fun. Here's the weird thing. It's the most professional but least serious team that I've ever worked with, which is weird, but that's how it feels. It's like we're doing something really special, but we're having a hell of a good time doing it. And obviously, we've got things like Hot Cares, which is a community thing, which I really enjoy. And that's what it's about. It's about the friendship, the camaraderie, the community, the people. That's really what it's about, because it's not really about us. It's about the people who listen to us. I think that's the most important thing. Cool. What role has my wife played? Well, she's been with me pretty much the whole way. So everything. She's been my partner through not just radio, but life, family, kids, countries, moving countries, everything. I can honestly say that I wouldn't be who I am, where I am without her. So she's basically the most important aspect of my journey. She's never seen it as a problem. You know, you say the early morning shifts, I would have to get up early and wake her up. Never complained. Was always encouraged me. Here's the thing though, she always said to me, as long as you're having fun, stick with it. If you're not having fun, don't. And so far, I've always had fun. But the fun aspect is the people aspect. That's the thing for me. It's the connection with people, it's the conversations and the enjoyment. You know, honestly, if one person gets a kick out of something I do, just one, job's done. The fact that there are obviously a lot more people that get a kick out of that, that's great. That's the money aspect, that's the commercial aspect. But for me personally, if someone comes up to me and says, I love what you did, I heard what you said, that's all the recognition I need. That is all the satisfaction I need. It's just about that connection. That's it. And sometimes you learn things from other people as well. They'll say something to you, and you go, oh, I didn't realize that. So I stay relevant because I don't think about staying relevant. It's not, I don't go, oh, I need to stay relevant. What I don't do is I don't let the old man out, if that makes sense. I don't let the old man out. Age is for me, it's an irrelevant thing. I read a lot. I think that's the most important thing. I stay curious. I think you stay curious. So one of the quirkiest things that ever happened to me was I was working on the station, which happened to be by a beach, which was nice. And we had these very old, not the greatest tech-friendly studios, but they were linked up in a headphone, so we could talk to each other, you know, through the headphones and stuff. And I was actually on air the one day doing a link. I was in the middle of a link, and I had a guy playing loud music by accident through my headphones, and I let out a word. But fortunately, there was a lot of music playing as well, so it kind of got buried in the music. So I looked around, no one heard that. I was safe, so thank goodness for that. And then when I started out in my career, I hadn't quite got into the don't take, you know, drinks into the studio thing. And I had a big bottle of, well, let's just say it was a sweet sparkling drink sitting next to me. I turned around, I was grabbing something, and it went all over the desk. And a couple of the faders. That's like a red card. That is a red card. By the way, here's some advice. If you're trying to get into radio, don't bring drinks into a studio. Studio, drinks, no. Anyway, I learned my lesson. Oh, and there was another thing. Oh, wow, I forgot about this one. When I first started in radio, this is a good story. When I first started, it was one of my first gigs. I was also studying my degree. I was finishing my degree. And I was doing a lot of late nights, and I was, you know, taking things to keep me awake, and I was really buzzed. And the one day I went out for a loo break, and the music stopped in the studio because we were using records, you know, those things called vinyl. And I ran into the studio, but the door was in the way, and I literally knocked the studio door, out of its hinges. It still lives with me to this day. People talk about that. And I ran and I knocked the studio door right off its hinges, got the record, and then I turned around, and there, of course, the door was too buzzed. Good news, I finished the degree, and the music carried on, so all was well. You know, radio's been a significant part of my adult life. It was something that I got into almost by accident, because I was studying at the time, and I was looking for a side gig, something that didn't take up too much of my time, so I could finish my degree. Finished the degree, and then obviously went right back into radio, because radio was a lot more fun than the thing I'd studied for. It's been like that friend that I've always called upon. My wife obviously has supported me right through the journey. My wife, Ulrika, she's been instrumental in, being there for me, supporting me. As I said, we've been around the world. We've visited many countries. I've worked in many countries, and she's always been with me. And I think a life partner like that is hugely significant in anybody's life. So number one is my wife, obviously, but I have to say a close number two would be radio. It's always been that friend. It's almost like writing poetry for me sometimes. When you create things, when you create content, it's a special part of who I am. It's a reflection of who I am. There is a standard we have to meet, but I never ever take it too seriously. I think the worst thing we can do with something as fun as radio is take it too seriously. I don't mean unprofessionally, but you can't take it too seriously, because it's when you're speaking to people, when you're talking to people, you need to be able to connect, and you need to get out of yourself and I guess become humble. Humility is a big part of what this business is about. I know there's a lot of showboating, and there's a lot of egos, a lot of glamour, but radio at its core is not glamorous. It's not glamorous. It's a one-on-one connection with a person, with another human being, about whatever. Whether you're funny, whether you're controversial, whether you do accents, whatever it is, if you can get someone to think, make someone laugh, make someone's day, job's done.
Hot 102.7.
Playing Joburg's best old school and R&B.